Hi everyone. Today's video is an explanation of this past week's events and what it means for the foreseeable future. I'm sorry I'm more unkempt than usual. It's been a bad week. This past Tuesday, the normally scheduled analysis for episode 6 of The Promised Neverland was issued a takedown notice from Sony. If you remember my video on copyright from a few weeks ago, this means they passed over all of these intermediary steps and these opportunities to have a dialogue and skipped right to the end. This results in my channel receiving a copyright strike. Now, I usually leave videos up unlisted for a time to allow Content ID to do its thing and give companies a chance to block it before it goes live. That way we don't have the situation with it cutting off in the middle of people's viewing. However, I didn't have time to wait as long this week, and I pushed it live earlier than usual. So then, Tuesday night, when I got back home, I changed the part of the video they objected to, I re-rendered it, and uploaded the new video. I then let that sit on my channel unlisted for about 15 or so hours. There were no objections from Sony, no view count indicating they'd received a Content ID match and reviewed it. I gave enough time for a full working day for any US personnel and 2 half days for any Japanese personnel to see it and object. Nobody did. Thus, I pushed the new version live Wednesday night, and within a few hours, they had issued a takedown notice for it as well. This generates a second strike for my channel. Now, I've counter-notified for both of these strikes, which is basically me saying, your claim is illegitimate, and if you want to keep this down, then you'll have to see me in court. They have 10 business days to prove that they have filed suit against me, or else their claim is overturned, and YouTube should remove the strikes and restore the videos. Should being the key word, and I'll come back to that. If you remember, I was nervous about choosing anything that involved Sony or Kadokawa this season because of the headache with the Made in Abyss finale. And I said at the outset that continuing The Promised Neverland was contingent upon there being no more shenanigans. Well, I think this week probably qualifies as shenanigans. Quite apart from that though, 2 strikes on my channel is an extremely dire situation. A third strike deactivates the channel. It would take everything offline and even block me from being able to get into it, which makes appealing the decision effectively impossible. I would lose everything. So, leaving aside the problems inherent in trying to continue the series, I'm feeling a little demoralized. It's Saturday, and I haven't even watched the next episode, even though I would usually be halfway into the script by now. I was really excited that we'd gone back to the long format. We had a good show we'd chosen. I've had lots of new people find the channel and what it is we do here. I've had some time to even work on the older stuff and some videos I haven't even talked about yet. And really everything about the new year seemed great, and so on the way up. This has really taken some of the wind out of my sails. Several of you have offered support or condolences for the situation. I really appreciate it. There's also been suggestions or questions about hosting elsewhere or changing the way that I do videos. Since I'm now literally in a legal dispute with Sony, I won't be rehosting this video in particular, though with Made in Abyss, there were people who had downloaded it and simply pointed people toward it in the comments. I will look into a more permanent solution for this, but I don't have anything just yet. When this last video comes back, it will be because my counter notification has run its course. I've also had people ask if I could just do the audio with no visual content at all, since it's only the video that actually gets striked. It's really flattering that you want to hear my thoughts even in a diminished state. I appreciate it, and I wish I could do better by you. But the risk of a third strike is a true existential threat to the channel. I'm even nervous about uploading this video, even though it's 100% my own footage, because a random or erroneous strike from any direction would still nuke my channel for good. So this is the situation. I'm not going to upload anything at all until these strikes are behind us. It's too much to gamble. This probably means we are done with The Promised Neverland, which is honestly kind of devastating. If things get resolved swiftly enough, there's a chance I will do a catch-up video, and then we can at least finish out the season by doing this format with whichever episodes remain. However, that requires YouTube to fulfill their end of things. I mentioned this in the copyright video last month, but I had a similar situation with Sony last year. Sony gave me a strike, and I counter-notified, and they, of course, didn't actually sue me. This means my video should have returned and the strike come off the channel in 10 to 14 business days, so 2 to 3 weeks. Instead, it was over 2 months before YouTube got around to actually setting things right. Will it be that bad again? I hope not. I'll definitely start emailing them multiple times a day the second we hit that 3-week mark. I'll go ahead and let you know now because I had already planned as much anyway. But long term, I intend to branch beyond YouTube for what I'm doing. It's just a mistake to put all your eggs in their basket. Unfortunately, I'm not quite ready for that. So, what will I be doing in the meantime? Well, the silver lining is that I will switch over and work on the backlog full time, as well as some other videos I want to release in the next half year. I won't actually release any of them until after these copy strikes are off because we aren't going to take any chances. But at least some progress will be made. Going forward, I guess I will go to greater lengths to avoid triggering Content ID. Other than keeping my clips very short, I have avoided doing anything drastic, like changing the color grade of clips, or flipping the video itself, or putting them in small boxes to the side, or any of that. Partially because I think that diminishes the content, and partially because I don't like the idea that I need to game the system. I know I'm not doing anything wrong, and so I hate feeling like I need to try to get away with something. It makes me feel like I'm acting guilty when I know I'm nothing of the sort. But ultimately, it's the people who want to see this stuff that get shortchanged in all this, and I suppose my notions of artistic integrity should come lower in the list of priorities. So I'm going to dig around and experiment and see if I can find one more step toward avoiding this kind of thing in the future. I'm really sorry this has happened. I made a mistake in assuming that the companies involved operate on good faith, and yet the people who wanted to see me continue this are the only ones who have consequences for it. I was pretty excited for this season and the direction of things this year. I feel a bit heartbroken, honestly, especially with the work that went into the series to this point, as it may never have a resolution now. Even if I get the strikes off in the shortest possible time, this is going to be the biggest gap in releases we've had in more than a year, maybe ever. If you are new to this channel, I apologize again. This is not normally how things happen around here. So then, I'm going to get back to work on scripts for our backlog. There's also videos quite apart from our usual fare that I want to work on for release in April and July. So I'll still be plenty busy. But I'm going to do that starting tomorrow. I think I'm going to take the rest of today off. Maybe see a movie or something. I haven't done that in almost a year, I think. Something kind of distract me from all this. I will try to circle back around later tonight and respond to everyone that has tried to offer encouragement or suggestions this week. I really appreciate your effort to reach out, and I'm sorry that I've felt too demoralized and paralyzed to respond to you. So, hopefully I will see you again in 3 weeks. It's not what I wanted, but it's better than losing everything. Until then, thanks for everything.